Hey, lovelies. Okay, so a lot of people are wondering just why I left the Laverne Cox event yesterday at Mohawk College. And there's a number of different reasons, but let me start with telling you why I wanted to go. The thing about it is that being a trans speaker myself, who spoke for Ryerson University, I've actually spoken at the Sexual Assault Center Hamilton area, which was Sasha, which was one of the presenters for the Laverne Cox event. I've spoken at Ryerson, Oshawa. So I've spoken at a bunch of different places, and I wanted to sort of go and see Laverne and see someone who had done so well and see the formula that they were using with regards to their speaking and maybe try to implement them in my speaking. So I thought, wow, what a great opportunity. My boyfriend bought us tickets for the VIP, which was a meet and greet. And they were $75. Otherwise, we could have bought tickets for $35 here in Toronto, which were selling out fast, but we could have bought them here instead of traveling all the way to Hamilton. So that was the first thing. The first thing is the fact that we traveled all that way and were very disappointed. So, according to the email, which I have right here, I'll actually have copies of it show up here as well. According to the email, the VIP reception was to start at 5 p.m., The VIP reception going in would start at 4:45 p.m. We get there, we get in, we're early. We find out that Laverne is actually not even showing up until 5:30. 5:30 turns into 5:45. Fine. It happens. She's a celebrity. Whatever. You know, it's that whole Madonna thing of making them wait. Well, honey, you know, sad to say, you're not that big. Making people wait 45 minutes is not cool. And the thing is that she just walked in a very casual outfit. The dress, I am not even going to be shady and say that she looked bad because she looked amazing. Her fucking hair and makeup and dress were on point. Everything was amazing. It's too bad the attitude didn't match the clothing she was wearing. So she's actually seated in the table right beside us, which was kind of cool. But what happened was that everyone sort of crowded in and it created this sort of hubbub. And so they moved her into the Arnie up on the stage. Now, we were told that if we were in groups, to get our groups together and get in line. So we're there, and then all of a sudden we've been waiting, by the way, 20 minutes in the line to get to see her. Then we find out, first of all, so the meet and greet, she stayed 15 minutes in the thing and then went out to the Arnie to do the picture thing. So just as we're getting up to the gate, the people there say there's no more people coming in. This is the last group. There's a lineup of about 60 people behind us who paid $75 a ticket to meet and greet Laverne, who were very disappointed. And I was actually upset for them. So as we're getting up there, I'm not paying attention, and I've got my 2 copies of Time magazine that she's on the cover of, and I wanted her to sign them. I mean, that was the whole point of the meet and greet, right? Was to get her to sign these magazines. And then as I'm going up, security sort of barks at us, no autographs, and don't touch her. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. First of all, in the meet and greet package that you were selling, it should have specifically stated that there would be no autographs. Period. Fine. Then I would have dealt with it. But the fact that that wasn't in the meet and greet package, that's why a lot of people paid for that package, was to meet her and get her to sign some stuff. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. It's not that she wasn't pleasant, because she was, but she was very pleasant in a robotic sense. She seemed very disinterested in being there in the meet and greet. She just seemed very disinterested. I went to put my arm around her because I didn't hear the don't touch her thing, and I went to put my arm around her, and she looked down at me like I was a piece of trash and was like, oh, okay then. Girl, did you cut-eye me? Did you cut-eye me? Come on. Come on. on? What is wrong with you? Your behavior is distasteful, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Those 60 people that paid for those tickets to come and see you, you should be ashamed of yourself. I don't give a shit that the venue sold more tickets than they should have. I don't care. What makes everything worse is Miss Cox decides that she's going to leave the meet and greet and go backstage at 6:30. The event doesn't start till 7:30. She could have stayed for an extra half hour and got pictures with everyone. Not to mention, we weren't allowed to take our own pictures. Some girl took the pictures, and let me tell you, she didn't even take more than one. She took one picture, and that was it. That was it. And it was a shitty picture. Thank God for the fucking filters on Instagram, or I would have looked like crap. Anyhow, so yeah, I can't even tell you how upset I was at this sort of situation. So then we get into the event. There's a section for VIP, which is great. And we're sitting there in the VIP area, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. And then some guy comes out. I forget what his name is, and I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I really did forget his name. I'm so sorry. Some guy comes out, and he starts talking about Samaya, the young trans woman that was murdered here in Toronto just about a month ago. And so he mentions trans once at the very beginning. And then he starts talking about Aboriginal women and Black women who've died, nameless, faceless, but kept leaving out the trans thing. This was a trans event. I don't give a shit about cisgendered people dying. Who cares? This was a trans event. When doing trans events, you need to have the word trans right there. You are talking about trans women who have passed away. Give them the goddamn respect that they deserve now that they're gone, and use those goddamn words, because they matter. You are identifying a group of people that have been marginalized for far too long. And by forgetting that, it's disrespectful. Yes, keep these young women and young men's names on your tongue so that their memories live forever. But do not ever forget to mention that they were trans. Because what you do right there is marginalize them even more after they've gone. That was the first mistake. Sorry, I'm really angry. I'm still angry at this. Actually, I was going to post last night and decided that I would wait until today because I thought that maybe my anger would go away. And the more and more I talk about it, the angrier I get at this sort of situation. Then she comes out like some sort of fucking messiah and stands there and is like, I stand before you, blah, blah, blah. 7 years ago. Oh my God, girl, you are not fucking Barack Obama. Get over yourself. Come on now. I'm going to say the same thing that I tweeted to her when the event was there. Girlfriend, you are the face of the moment, not the face of the movement. Trans women have done this before you, have done it classier than you, and with a lot more goddamn respect for the people that fucking stood beside them when they got there. People always talk about the fact that she's like this big icon. She, no one's ever done it before. Need I remind you of a certain woman named Candace Kane? I'm sure a couple of people don't remember this show, and I'm sure a couple of people loved it. I, for one, loved it. Candace Kane was, in fact, the very first ever in the history of television, network or otherwise, trans woman to play a trans woman on a national network show in primetime with top billing. It had never happened before. Never. So someone has done it before you and done it with a lot more class. I love that people constantly forget about Candace Kane. Candace Kane was like the uber icon of the Ricki Lake days who transformed herself into one of the most impressive women, trans women of our generation. She's now got a starring role, a recurring role on Elementary, alongside Lucy Liu and Johnny Lee Miller. This is a big deal. I get all the hoopla because, Laverne Cox is a black trans woman, and it is a much bigger deal to be black and trans. I understand that because it's a lot harder to come out. It's a different sort of dynamic when it comes to that situation. However, remind yourself of the people that came before you, like maybe Tula, who was in the James Bond movie as an extra. People have done it before you and done it with a lot more class. So she comes out on stage in this Messiah thing. Ah! She starts talking. First, I want to thank the student faculty for putting this together. It's sad to think that her performance on Orange is the New Black is much better than her performance in life. At least when she's acting on Orange is the New Black, you can't tell she's reading from a script. This bullshit that she put out there at the very beginning, within the first 5 minutes, I was like, this is like a verbatim speech. This is like what a liar does when they remember every little detail of a story. Girl, come on now. I get it, when you're doing multiple speakings, you probably throw in a different thing, you will do a certain part and then pull out certain parts. I understand all of that, I get it. Because I do public speaking, so I understand when you go from one school to another, taking that with you to the next school, which is fine. I respect that. I understand that. Oh my God, I love green tea. Anyhow, so I look at my boyfriend who's sitting beside me, and I looked at him and I was like, babe, I'm so sorry, I can't sit through this. I can't sit and watch this. I said, we need to leave. He looked at me and he said, I agree, let's go. Yay! Yay to Chrishane. I love you. I love that we were both on the same page of being angry about this situation. This coming from my straight boyfriend. He was as disappointed in the situation as I was. And I think he was just as angry about those people not being able to meet her as I was. I mean, I get it. I met her, so I shouldn't be so upset. But that's the problem with being an activist, right? Is that you can't be a part-time activist. You're either an activist or you're not. And my problem with being activism is that I always end up being the voice for the people that I feel are being disenfranchised. And I felt like those people had bought those tickets. The thing is that $75 to a trans person is a lot of money. That's hormones for a month for a trans woman. It's hormones for a week for a trans man if he's doing steroid injections. Even if they bought the $35 ticket, that's dinner. That's dinner. That's transportation. That's a lot of money to these people. $75 may not seem like a lot to someone who's making $30,000 an appearance. But $75 is a lot of money for anyone to spend on a ticket. Any normal person. This is why I think you should be ashamed of yourself. You acted all high and mighty, and I get it. The thing is that the even weirder thing was I happened to know her security guard, Anthony, and he was going to set it up that I could get my Time magazine signed after the event, and then I walked over and we were talking, and he was like, "Oh, she's a germaphobe." Bitch, who the fuck do you think you are, Howie Mandel? Huh? How is it we are just finding out about the germaphobe thing now? Just now. Just saying. If that's your cop-out because you don't want to mingle with the people below you, get over yourself. Get over yourself. You could have brought your own Sharpie to sign with. And I don't understand the big deal with someone shaking your hand. We were actually told we couldn't hug her or shake her hand or give her anything. The saddest part about that is that I'd gone with my boyfriend, but I had met up with Eric, my friend, Ecstasy Love, who's a performer here in Toronto and Hamilton, and her boyfriend that was there with her, well, his boyfriend, because he was there as Eric, his boyfriend that was there with him brought this sign, and it's called okaytobeme.ca. Take a good look at that. And all he wanted to do for the youth support group that he has was get her to sign this and bring it back to the students. When I do lectures at universities and colleges and sometimes online through Skype, I've done that, I am over the moon that there are people out there that are willing to listen to my story in the sense of education. I dream of a day where you don't need trans women like myself or Laverne Cox standing in front of you and telling you our story in order to get you to better understand what we're going through. I dream of that day. It's not happening now, but one day it might. One day. That's my dream. But the reality of it is that I would never, ever want someone leaving one of those classes feeling the way that I felt yesterday, feeling the way that a lot of people felt yesterday. I don't care if this is the organization's issue or the organizer's issue. I don't care. The problem with being the face of an event is that everything falls on you. It's just like working at a business. When you work somewhere, you're the face of that business, which means you have to act accordingly because you're the face of it. When you're the face of an event like this, Miss Cox, everything falls on you. You're the face, you're the star. You should be humbled that so many people around the world want to come and see you, that want to come and hear your story. There are far too many young trans women and men out there killing themselves, and old trans women and men killing themselves because of a lack of understanding of who they are as a person. You have an incredible opportunity to help them, but you can't do it when you're standing behind some sort of shield. You can't do it when you don't want to interact with the masses. You can't do it when you're so high up there that you can't even remember where you came from. It's not likely that I'm going to tune into season 3 of Orange is the New Black. Sadly. I won't tune in just because she's on the show. I also won't be tuning into her new show on NBC. I don't care. I don't care how groundbreaking it is. I won't. If she turns up on a show that I like, I will honestly stop watching the episode. She's left such a bad taste in my mouth with regards to her behavior. I could never, ever, ever do anything that I know will help her in any way, ever again. And I'm just one person. I get it. You know, it's not going to affect Netflix if I stop watching her show. It's not going to affect Orange is the New Black if I start watching her show. But the thing is that I'm not the first person that's complained about her behavior like this. Many people on Facebook, when I put up my post about how disgraceful she was, I can't tell you how many comments showed up of her being in Mexico or somewhere else and how her attitude just sucked and she was just rude and standoffish. I can't support that kind of behavior. I'm sorry. As always, I thank you so much for tuning into my rants. It genuinely means the world to me. I love each and every one of you, and I'm honored that you take time out of your day to listen to my videos. I'm honored to be a part of your life for 5-10 minutes whenever you get to watch my videos. So I thank you for that. And from the most humblest of hearts, I thank you. As always, please don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. That's for you, Eric. I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye.